going to be very different today. Instead of doing our usual stuff that we usually do, rating systems, looking at a single figure, maybe two or something like that, this is going to be different because we're taking a look at a bunch of different Godzilla figures. I should probably face this forward. Bunch of different Godzilla figures that I just kind of have. I don't really have a plan to actually review these ones, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to just show you guys a bunch of Godzilla and maybe a con or two just here and there, just to celebrate that this is the month of Godzilla. Godzilla and Kong just came out. Godzilla, the New Empire is pretty much the best. I don't like the way Godzilla X Kong sounds, so Godzilla, the New Empire, it pretty much should be Kong, the New Empire, but hey, it's whatever. It's still a Godzilla month, so I'm very excited to show these guys to you. Like I said, there's not really going to be a rating system, but these things are awesome, and I have a bunch of them. I have a little ones here. Just it's not a lot, but it's something just to get something going on the month of Godzilla. And next Monday will be something really cool, and I'm very excited to show you guys those figures. But for now, this is pretty much it. I don't have a Godzilla shirt yet, but I have a monkey, so that it counts as something. So we're gonna get straight into this. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this one, and did enjoy this one. You didn't see it yet, but I hope you guys do enjoy this one, and I will see you guys next Monday for another review. But for now, let's take a look at what we have here. We're going to start off a little small for now, and we're going to take a look at these two little dudes. These guys are kind of old, not really. This one's probably the oldest, but this one's kind of like the remake of it, I guess. But yeah, these ones are made by the company right here, because honestly, I don't remember the company that made these ones. But it looks like this was made by... you can't really tell. It doesn't really say. But this one came out when the first Godzilla movie came out for Legendary. This is Godzilla from 2014. Easily, probably one of my favorite designs. I don't know if it's like up there in the top 5, but it's definitely top 10 because I just absolutely love this design for Godzilla. Seeing this design for the first time was really dope in theaters, and I am very happy to have something of it. I am getting something bigger because Hiya Toys did come out with their 2014 Godzilla based off the movie, and that's not coming till December, which kind of sucks. It would have been really cool to have it for Godzilla month, but hey, we'll have it for next year. So this is really cool. I particularly like this design because of the dorsal plates, because it's just very interesting. We'll be looking at the other little figure, but you know, Godzilla has just kind of like these plates that are very recognizable, but with these ones, they're more like rigid. They're more like rocky looking. So I just really do like the way this looks. And also the figure itself does look nice. He has no posability whatsoever. He has a little posability here and here. And that's pretty much it. But I think they did a really awesome job, because honestly, he doesn't really need to move that much. So I am happy with what he has. So with his little brother, which came out in 2019, this one came when Godzilla King of the Monsters came out. And this is basically pretty much the same like idea of this, but it updated the look a little bit differently. You can see that there is a lot more differences, especially in the dorsal plates. The dorsal plates look more like Godzilla usually would have them. So what's cool about him is that he does come with a bunch of different posabilities now. So of course he has the legs that move up and down. He has the arms as well, but he also has the head, which is pretty dope. And also the tail here and the tail here. So he's got quite a bit of posability on him. So I think it looks really cool. But the paint job is very different than what he originally was. And just the sculpting is overall pretty different as well. You can tell in the feet as well, because in the original, very stumpy. You can see they're just a little side by side. It's a little different from each other, and even in the head sculpts, it does look different. You could see that the eye for the original one was just kind of a yellow, and they kind of did the exact same thing, but more of just a dot, which I don't know if I like But I think I think that actually does look a lot better than just straight up yellow. Just a little dot there looks pretty nice, but yeah, I think it's pretty decent. So these little figures, they're nothing special, but I think they're kind of cool. Moving on to even smaller, this is one of the Heisei Godzillas, and he is a little dusty because he's been on the shelf for a long time. I got this guy back in 2014 in for my first time going to Universal Studios in California. So this is a really cool little piece. I got this guy all the way back then, and it was part of like the little mystery mini things. So I think that was pretty dope. You can see some of the stuff there. It says NECA. NECA made this? Holy crap, we learn something new every day. We're going to be looking at another figure that I was very surprised on who made it in a little bit. But you can see that the detailing overall is not too bad on the little figure. I mean, it's nothing special, but I think the overall sculpting looks nice. I like how they did the dorsal plates. I think the only thing that just looks weird is the head. But I believe this is the Heisei era. You could tell just because the big chonkiness of it. But it's a pretty cool figure. It's not bad. It's more of just like a little display thing, no posability whatsoever. But yeah, it is pretty cool. I believe this was at the end of 2019, but I got this one for Christmas that year. And this one was given to me, I believe, by my wife. And this is the Burning Godzilla little keychain. And I really like this version. Burning Godzilla is one of my favorite like Heisei looks because it just looks so cool, and the ending of Godzilla versus Destroyer is like super sad. So this just design is just so cool. Really do like all that they did with it. It's such a nice little chibified version of Godzilla, and I really do like it. It's not bad. Again, no posability because it is just supposed to be a keychain, but yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. So now let's get on to some of my favorite figures. So I'm going to kind of start them off with like kind of least favorite and been moving my way up. So back in the day, I had a Godzilla figure, which we'll be taking a look at in a little bit. And it was my first ever Godzilla figure, and I wanted somebody to fight him. So I bought this little dude. This is the Space Godzilla made by Bandi. So this was a pretty old one, and over time, I did actually repaint it, which honestly, I do like the repaint job I did, especially in the spines area. I really like how it came out. If you've seen the original isn't bad. I actually really like the paint job, but I wanted something a little bit more accurate. So I tried my best to, paint it as good as I could. So the crystals, I think, look very nice, especially in this lighting. So really do like that. And of course, these little spots here, which I really do like. For some reason, they made it gold. So the gold kind of pokes out a little bit, but I really do like it. Looks very nice. I think the only thing that I don't care for are the eyes that I did, but it's honestly not too bad. I really do like the way I did this figure. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I think that this figure is really cool. These little figures are, more of a rubbery instead of like a hard plastic. So, but I think they just look neat. They don't really have a lot of posability. He has a little bit on the arms here that just goes side to side. He has a swivel at the head. No movement at all here, and just a tiny bit at the tail, which can pretty much just probably do a full rotation, but that's basically all of his posability. But honestly, he doesn't need that much, because if you just take another kaiju, you just pretty much all you're doing. That's pretty much all I did with these figures. And I did have some other ones, which I believe Playmates took over the whole rubber look after Bandai, I believe. And I had a bunch of them. I know I had King Ghidorah, I had King Caesar, I had, I think I had a Mechagodzilla, but I'm not too sure. But I just had like a bunch of them. But sadly, I don't have those ones anymore. Kind of wish I kept some of them, but I don't know. I think it was for the best, because I needed more space for the Godzilla collection. But yeah, Space Godzilla. It's a pretty decent figure. Now, next on my list, I actually really love this figure. Now, this is one of my almost favorite kaiju from the Godzilla universe. It's Gigan. I just absolutely love the way Gigan looks. This is from the Final Wars movie. Again, it's not everybody's favorite movie, but it's one of my It's so much fun to watch. I had a blast watching Final Wars. Final Wars was actually one of my first, I guess, Japanese Godzilla movies, um, made by Toho. Uh, Technically, my first Godzilla movie was the '98 Zilla movie. So, I didn't start off great, but honestly, I still really love the Zilla movie. And when it comes to the traditional Japanese style of Godzilla, Final Wars was my introduction to that franchise. And honestly, I was so confused watching it, but I still enjoyed it. I know it wasn't my favorite, but it was fun to watch it for the very first time. But this design for Gigan is just so cool. His original design is pretty dope, but I love the edgy, super spiky look of this guy. And it just looks awesome. I love just all the detailing that they put into this little figure. And this was made by Toho, or not Toho, Playmates. So, it wasn't made by Bandai. So, but I think it does look really nice. I think they did really good on this one. Don't know if they actually just reused a mold that Bandai used and just resold it, but either way, I still really like this look for him. And he actually does have some pose abilities, but the coloring on him I really do like. I love the red wings with the hints of blue there. The black looks awesome, and just the silver pops, and just the overall detailing is awesome. But again, he does have some pose ability here. He has a tiny bit, like the tiniest bit here, barely anything. He does have some movements at both of the arms here. He has some leg swivels that are just right here. He has one little part where the tail moves, but other than that, that's pretty much it. But he is a really dope figure. Now, moving on to my first ever Godzilla figure. So when I first pretty much properly learned about Godzilla, my movie I watched all the time was the '98 Godzilla movie. And I remember going into the special features and seeing the ad for Godzilla versus King Ghidorah and Godzilla versus Mothra Battle for Earth. And I was like, dude, Mom, I really want a Godzilla figure. And she pulled through and she got me this little guy for one of my birthdays or Christmas or whichever. And I absolutely loved it, and I still do to this day. It holds so many little memories. Most of them were just me like having a bunch of little Legos here and just him stomping around the city, using his atomic breath to just destroy so many Lego things. It's just one of those things that just has a nice little memory to me, and it doesn't even matter if like the posability isn't great. I still had so much fun with him, and you can see that there's some, a little bit of blood effects just kind of here and there. There used to be a lot at the chest, but I believe I cleaned that off. But yeah, I definitely had so much fun playing with this little guy, and I am so glad that I kept him all these years. And I don't think I'll ever get rid of this figure because it's just one of those things that I just absolutely love. And the overall sculpting is beautiful. And even the paint job is super simple, but I absolutely loved it. I think the only thing I could complain about is the coloring of the spines kind of seep, kind of move on towards the actual skin. But honestly, I don't really care. It looks awesome. I really do like the way this guy looks. You could see some more damage at the face as well. And their face is beautifully painted. I love how they did the face. And of course, he has some decent posability. He has a swivel at the head. He has the hinge joints at the arms. He has some movement at the legs. No movement at the tail at all. But this was also made by Bandai. And this one was actually... I believe this was made by Bandai. This was 2004, so I think this was around the time Final Wars was coming out. So I believe she got this on Amazon for me. So it's just so cool. I really do like this figure. And this has been one of my favorite Godzilla figures to this day. I've gotten so many Godzilla figures, but none of them have just topped this original one because it's big nostalgia thing. So, it's still really dope. Now, moving on to the very last figure, and this one's not a Godzilla figure, but here's a little hint for you right there. This is a King Kong figure, which it holds so many little memories. It's interesting. It's a big collector's thing, and it's so cool. This is the King Kong from the original King Kong movie, and it's gorgeous. It's such an amazing looking figure. Having the camera on the stand is not giving the whole scale, but you could see the whole display base is so cool. You get this cool little logo with King Kong right there, the beautiful detailing of this thing. It's all plastic, but it's made to look exactly like how it would in the movie. And he was pretty much trapped up there at the very end of the movie, and you can see the chains, which are real chains, which are really, really dope. Really do like it. And you pretty much just place Kong right there. He stands up beautifully, and it just completes the whole look for Kong. It's so cool looking. I absolutely love it. Kong himself does look really dope. The sad thing about this figure, though, is that he was missing his top teeth. Now, I kind of went in there and sculpted it with some clay, but it's not the best, and I definitely can do better, and I definitely need to repaint it to actually make it look like the bottom teeth. But it's a start. It actually looks better than it does without teeth, so it's pretty cool. The figure itself is awesome. It's an oldie, and the person that actually made this figure was McFarlane, the ones that make DC figures that we've been collecting in my collection so far. And I think that's so weird, but it's really cool. I really do I love it. It's such a nice little piece, and it's a huge nostalgic thing. This was my dad's piece back in the day, and now it is mine. And it's so cool. Again, it holds so many memories, and it's just such a nice little build. He does have some pose abilities on him, believe it or not. The figure itself is kind of meant to be more statue-like, but he does have pose abilities. So he does have a swivel at the head, which is pretty nice. He has a rotation at this arm here, and at the elbow joint, it's also a swivel, and you can see some of that detailing as well. On the other side of the arm, it's a little bit of a different story, because it is kind of a weird, loose ball joint, I guess, it seems like, but there is a little crack right there, so I want to be very careful. He has none of the same posability there. Wrists don't move, but he does have a waist swivel, which is right in here, which I think is pretty cool. You can see some of the back detailing as well. And there you go, right there, McFarlane Toys. Very odd, from the 2000s. That is so weird. Or 1933, I believe that's when the first Godzilla movie came out. But he does have some swivel at the thighs as well, and it's not a lot, but I think it's still really cool. And the fact that he can just beautifully stand on the base without tumbling over is really dope. It's such an amazing looking piece, and just gonna be one that stays in the collection for a long time. I would like to get one that's in box, but that's a lot of money for one in box. So that's pretty much it for the video. I really just wanted to show you guys just some Godzilla stuff before we moved on to the bigger, actual big collections that we have. Because we do have a big one next Monday. But I thought it'd be nice to, just kind of show you guys just a little bit of what I got that's not overly big. But yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm very excited for next Monday because we actually get to talk about the new movie, which I did see the other day, which you can kind of see what I talked about just a little bit on my Instagram. And I also have another Instagram for my toy reviews, so definitely check those two out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. I hope Godzilla month is almost just as good, maybe even better than Lego month. I am just overly excited. I know this isn't a strong start to Godzilla month, but hey, you got to start somewhere before you start actually getting to the good stuff. So I will see you guys next Monday for a proper Godzilla review.